There's a trick of Shaitan that he has used to deceive a lot of people. But if you know about it, not only can you be saved from his trick, but you can actually flip it on its head and use it against Shaitan. I'm calling the trick the slow burn because it's based off a experiment that people did with frogs. Very mean though, but an experiment nonetheless. They took some boiling water and they threw frogs into the boiling water, and immediately the frog jumped out because of course it's super hot. But then they took the frog and put it into normal water, and then they slowly raised the temperature. The frog never noticed. It got cooked alive, but it didn't realize it was being cooked. And this is what Shaitan does. He can try to get you to do a major sin that goes against your nature, but you'll feel guilt. And maybe that guilt helps you get closer to Allah. Or he could get you to do a tiny sin that doesn't feel that bad. And just keep going and keep going and keep going. And so the fornicator doesn't start off fornicating. He starts off just innocently holding someone's hand and pecking their cheek and doing side hugs. The gambler starts with fake money and $1 bets. And the serial killer just starts by torturing a few ants in his backyard, and then maybe a cockroach here and there, and then a mouse, right? And it escalates. But the thing is, good deeds also escalate. So we have the example of Malik bin Dinar, who was an alcoholic, but by doing one good deed consistently, he ended up becoming one of the greatest scholars of the Tabi'een. And that one habit was going to the masjid. He would go to the masjid, and then eventually he just started noticing that there's some chores to do, so he started doing the chores of the masjid. Then he noticed that there were classes, and he would just hear them in passing. Eventually got his interest, he started sitting into the classes, then he became a dedicated student, and then he became one of the greatest scholars ever, right? And so this slow burn not only works for sins, but it works for good deeds as well. So when it comes to actions, don't look at them for how big they are. How big is the sin? How big is the good deed? But rather look at the path that they lead to.